Hi, I'm John Jackson with Tampa Bay Industrial Advisors, here with a 3-minute briefing on trends to watch in industrial real estate into the coming year. First, we see construction costs continuing to rise into 2023, benefiting existing assets and making it tougher for developers to execute on new projects. This change is driven by multiple factors, including supply chain shortages and delays that are driving up costs, a labor shortage in construction that's predicted to get worse into the second half of the year, increased transportation and shipping costs associated with higher fuel costs across the board, and global supply and demand imbalances with materials like steel, lumber, and copper. Another key trend is demand growth in secondary markets like Tampa Bay appears to be outpacing growth in some of the country's largest cities. It's no secret that there's significant migration happening from the Northeast into the Southeast, and this shift was accelerated during COVID and continues into the second half of 2022. We believe that mid-sized metropolitan markets with population and wage growth, like what we have here in the Tampa Bay region, will increase industrial absorption and rental gains into 2023. Key trend number 3, industrial inventory modernization is still in its early stages. Did you know that more than 70% of U.S. buildings were constructed before the 21st century? And a full third of inventory is over 50 years old? In our market here in Tampa, for instance, the average age of an industrial building is 37 years old. And many of these older buildings are now becoming functionally obsolete with lower clear height, poor access, and narrow truck courts. These buildings will eventually be torn down and redeveloped. Key trend number 4, we will continue to see demand from supply chain shift and e-commerce going forward. Don't let Amazon's pause in building out its supply chain fool you. E-commerce spending as a percent of overall retail continues to grow. Currently in the US, for instance, we are close to 15% of retail spending through e-commerce, compared to China, where that number is closer to 50%. So we're still relatively early in our adoption curve here, and end-use supply chain fulfillment will continue to shift from retail centers into industrial warehouses. This translates into greater demand for population-driven distribution centers, like we have here around Tampa Bay, to fulfill one-day and same-day delivery. As a benchmark, it's estimated that we need an extra 1 million square feet of distribution space to cover each incremental $1 billion in e-commerce spending. Well, that wraps up this segment. I'm John Jackson with Tampa Bay Industrial Advisors. Please reach out to us anytime to discuss all things industrial.